So this little beauty here is the Kriss Vector, and although she may look super sick, is this actually a practical firearm for the price? So welcome back to the Muzzle Broke channel, everybody. Really appreciate you tuning in, and today we're kind of talking a little bit about the Kriss Vector. I have this Vector here, SBR. This one is chambered in .45 ACP, kind of the original caliber the Vector was made for, and I do really enjoy this gun, but let's be honest, is it very practical for the price point? So Kriss Vectors are gonna run north of $1,400, and that's a pretty dang steep price. Although I do really enjoy shooting this gun definitely has its quirks and isn't necessarily the most user-friendly gun, especially when we're talking about practical purposes. Being that it is chambered in .45 ACP, being a pistol caliber carbine, this weapon system does have a very light recoil pattern, especially kind of given that Super V recoiling system that the Kriss Vector is known for. I enjoy taking this gun to the range. It's a great range toy, but personally, I'm not using this for anything serious for a couple of different reasons. The biggest one being ergonomics. I'm an AK guy, but even I'm used to the manual of arms for the AR-15 as well, and the Kriss Vector, although it is a viable weapon system, it kind of has a manual of arms all on its own. We have our mag release right here, charging handle over here. We do have an ambidextrous safety, but it's a little kind of stiff and hard to actuate, and the trigger pull on these Vectors is not necessarily the best. Although I do think .45 ACP is a decent home defense or self-defense round, it unfortunately just doesn't compare to the SBRs of today, especially when we compare it to something like an AR-15. This AR-15 chambered in 300 blackout with all the optics, flashlights, bells, and whistles on it is probably still gonna cost less than that Kriss Vector, and I think this is a much more viable option for serious use. It has a common manual of arms. We can switch out any and all of these parts if we want to, and that 300 blackout round is gonna be much more efficient at defending yourself or your family than that .45 ACP. So although the Kriss Vector is absolutely a vibe and you can kind of run and gun and LARP and pretend you're in the new Call of Duty, as far as a practical sense, I really don't think it's there, especially for the price point when you can get an AR-15 with all the bells and whistles and still kind of come out cheaper than this bad boy. Really appreciate you tuning into the channel here. If you could, hit me with subscribe. And hey, leave a comment down in the comment section if you disagree. Would you rather run a Kriss Vector or an SBR AR-15?